Now, all eyes are on Ekiti State in the southwest region of Nigeria as the residents of that state gear up to elect a new governor come Saturday, June 21, 2014. When the current governor, Kayode Fayemi, assumed office on the 16th of October 2010, he said at his inauguration that he was on a collective rescue mission. And has that rescue mission been enough to guarantee him a second term in a state that many think no one can rule for 2 terms? Well, hello and welcome. This is 60 Minutes with me, Angela Jetumobi. Thank you for joining me on the program today. My host today is a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria who was born in 1961 in Ado-Ekiti, the capital of Ekiti State. He represents Ekiti Central Senatorial District in the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, assumed that seat in 2011. A journalist for over 26 years, he joined politics in 2010. He says his entire vision is unified in the 3 cardinal points of his agenda. First, to promote Ekiti interest. Second, to project Ekiti personality. And thirdly, to push Ekiti agenda. So, join me after the break. I'm counting down 60 minutes with Babafemi Ojudu, a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria representing Ekiti Central Senatorial District. Welcome back. Welcome, Senator Ojudu. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
It's nice to be with you.
Thank you very much. So, you know, I know you're in the APC, and obviously everyone in the APC is, well, ought to be supporting Governor Fayemi, the incumbent. But are you happy with his choice as the candidate in the coming elections?
I'm so excited. I'm happy.
Really?
And we are rock solid behind him. We couldn't have had it better. Yeah.
Why are you happy with his choice?
Because I belong to a group of elites in Ekiti. And in the early 2000s, we started meeting and searching for the person that can well represent us, you know, that can be an embodiment of what we want in Ekiti. And we were searching. And we had issues as to zoning and all those kind of things. You know, when it was said that, look, the Central has done it many times over, the South has been there, and then it was the North.
Yes.
Dr. Fayemi was from far away UK at that time. And we started searching, looking for elements that really belong to Ekiti, that believe in Ekiti, that is well educated, well behaved, well respected, has exposure. And then some of us came up and said, look,
this is the man.
This guy meets our condition.
Yes. And
I want to tell you today that he has not disappointed us. We are very happy. We're actually very grateful to him for what he has done.
But do you know that some people think he's elitist and that, you know, too much education, he's lost touch?
Honestly, for me,
yes,
from what I've seen, that education has been the advantage. It has been the benefit. Okay. Honestly, when you are from Ekiti, Ekiti, take the list, and I think top to the bottom in terms of allocation from the federal, from the federal government.
I think they're number 35.
Yes, number 35. And with that little, you're able to be creative. You're able to marshal support from all over the world to do what he has done. Anybody without education, anybody without exposure, without self-confidence, couldn't have done what he has done. Yeah. So, I mean, why do we seek education?
Yes.
We seek education for knowledge.
Yes.
You then use that knowledge to better your society. Why should anybody prefer somebody who's not educated to somebody who's educated? Yeah. If you don't know your right hand from your left hand, how do you then assist people?
Yes.
What
would be your response to those who think he didn't emerge democratically? Everybody else was intimidated within the party.
That is fallacy. There was a primary. We all went to the field. We campaigned for him. Yes. We were there on the voting day, and he won. And he won. The difference is just too clear.
Yes.
Put him side by side with other persons.
Yes.
Some came who were looking for greener pastures. Oh, my business is not doing well.
Let me join. Yes.
And make some money. Oh, some for personal ego.
Yes.
But here is somebody who, even in the comfort of the Western world where he was, he fought with us to ensure that we installed democracy in Nigeria. We had a civilian government. Nobody paid him for doing so. Yes. He could have turned his back on Nigeria and said, no, let me take care of my wife and my family
and enjoy abroad.
Myself. But he took a lot of risks. If you have read his book, Out of the Shadows, you will see all of the risks that he has taken.
Yes.
That he took at that time, traveling all over the world, mobilizing, organizing, being, campaigning heavily, and being pursued all over the world by the agents of Abacha. So such a person, say, okay, come home, come and use some of your knowledge, come and use some of your network to assist the people. And you say, no, that's not going to be. And we insisted that is what we want.
Yes.
And he has come back and he has demonstrated the possibilities to us. And the next 4 years is going to be bigger. Because again, we are moving to the next stage.
With next 4 years, people say no one has ever governed Ekiti twice.
Again, that is stupid talk. We started this democracy in 1999, for God's sake.
So what
Adebayo did 4 years. Well, there were problems here and there. He couldn't do second term. Nobody has completed offices then.
Yes.
PDP took over, and there are 7 governors in 7 years. So what are we talking about? So I've been on the campaign field with him.
Yes.
I know how we reacted to him.
Yes.
I know how elite.
Does he have that common touch?
It is there. It is all they are just creating a myth, a fallacy that it doesn't have common touch. When you are driving on the street and old women are holding broom and dancing and hailing you, what else do you want?
Can he speak the language?
He does very well and give proverbs and witty sayings in the language and all of that. What they are talking about is stopping in motor park and drinking paraga, and stopping on the road and buying ball. It's not everybody that can do that. Look, governance is a serious business, for God's sake. You don't deceive the people. We prefer sitting down behind my desk, working there at night, putting things together, making contacts, and solving the problem with people, rather than going to sit in the marketplace and drinking paraga. How does that solve the problem of the common man in Ekiti State? That is what they say he doesn't do. Look, Awolowo never did all of that. We are remembering him today. Several years after his death, nobody has seen Fashola in Lagos there drinking paraga on the street and going to sit all day in the motor park. No. Yet, it's affecting the life of the people for good. Bola Tinubu, even as populist as he is, you've never seen him in the motor park drinking paraga. That is all that there are some elements are talking about. Oh, they have looked at it and said, look, this guy has done so well. What do we need to throw at him? What do we need to say about him? They just look for all kinds of excuses. What is different is that, look, he has turned around the state in a way that infrastructure has been improved. The image of the state has also improved. In the past, you talk about Ekiti and the Ekiti man, and what comes to you is one dirty looking,
rural,
uncouth, rural individual. But when you look at it now, you see your governor on TV, the way he communicates. You see the deputy governor, the way they communicate.
For a state that doesn't have much, he's playing a role on the national stage.
He's playing a role on the national stage. Nobody can push him. He's not a pushover.
Yes.
I was in Washington, D.C. just about a week ago. And a white man came to me and said, I'm from Ekiti. I said, how? He said he visited for 1 week. He stayed in the Kogos, and that was the most quiet, most pleasant place he has ever lived in. For just 1 week, he said he is coming back and he keep coming back to Ekiti because of that. Wow. And that is the creation of Fire. So these are the kind of positive things and the positive vibes we are getting about him that makes some of us support him.
Okay. And thankfully, you've talked about Ikogosi.
Yeah.
And you are also a journalist.
Yes.
I interviewed Bolade Omonijo, the political editor
Yes.
of the Nation newspapers, and he said to me, in spite of him saying the APC and Governor Fayemi has the upper hand,
Yes.
he says you all will ignore the PDP at your own peril.
Well, you don't ignore your opponents when you are going to election. No,
Right.
no, you don't do that. Even if he's Mr. Nobody.
Yes,
you
don't underrate them.
You don't underrate them, no. Anywhere.
Okay.
In fact, what we are trying to do is to drive it to an overkill. So that, you know, you can then have, for example, if you have 100,000 votes and your opponents have 10,
Yes.
you will have no cause to want to go to court.
Yes.
That's the kind of thing we are working on.
Looking
We are not
forward.
going to stop until the last minute. And we are not someone like that.
Yes.
If you know my background, you know the background of Dr. Kadi Fayemi, that of the wife,
Yes.
the DG of the campaign, and everybody involved.
Yes.
They know we are not lazy people.
You are fighters.
We are fighters, and we are going to fight this.
Who would you say? I mean, I know of 4 serious contenders,
Yes.
and that's not to disrespect all the other political
Yes.
parties. We have Barrister Kole Ajayi from Accord Party. We have Opeyemi Bamidele from the Labour Party. We have Ayodele Fayose from the PDP. And I want your honest
And I'm not going to talk to you as a politician now.
Yes.
I'm going to talk to you as a journalist.
Yes, and who do you think
Yes.
can rival Dr. Fayemi?
Honestly, as it is today,
Yes.
as it is today, none of the 3 you have mentioned can rival him. And I'll give you why.
Why?
We had thought, you know, over the months when we have been strategizing,
Yes.
that PDP was going to bring out somebody who, even though not at the level of Dr. Ifeanyi, but somebody who can measure up a bit.
Okay.
So that we could have a robust contest.
Yes.
You know, put them on the television, let them debate.
Yes.
And let them tell the people what they are capable of doing, what they have done and all that.
Yes.
But we were so excited.
When Fayose.
When they brought Fayose.
Yes.
Look, I come from.
Why do you say you were excited? And you know, I
Because
want you to break it down.
I'm gonna
I
break it
know
down.
about 13 candidates.
I'm going to break it down for
the
you.
13
Yes.
who thought
Yes.
that they wanted primaries, not who wanted consensus,
Yes, yes,
not primaries.
yes.
Who of those 13
Yes.
would you guys have loved to see in a debate?
Oh,
Ojudu.
Bengaluku is well educated. Adiyeye is educated as well.
Right.
You know, there are a few other, up to 5 of them.
Yes.
You know, are well educated and well brought up.
Yes.
You know, and they are patriots of Ekiti.
Right.
You know, so if you are pitch those people against Fayemi, there would have been people will have been in their sitting room or wherever wanting to listen to them
Looking
talk.
forward to
Looking
this.
forward to
Yes.
exchange of ideas,
Yes.
big bats and all of that.
Yes.
No, I mean, with what you have seen now, it's not going to happen.
What about Opeyemi Bamidele? Because
let me tell you this again.
Yes.
There is a myth
Yes.
about him. Now that myth has been deflated today.
How has it
Nobody
been
is talking about him in Ekiti now. I'm serious about that. Send independent observers there. You know, it will probably have been a little issue
Yes.
if Fayose had not come.
Okay.
Since Fayose came, that has completely wiped out his relevance. I'm serious about it.
Yeah.
And I, you know, with all sense of responsibility. You know, he was one of us.
Yes.
Of course, he was one of us.
And-
but again,
and
even if being one of us,
Yes.
he was limited. You know, but I wouldn't want to go into that. But what I'm saying today is that let somebody who is independent go to Ekiti and ask how relevant he is to this election. People will tell you that it's not their cup of tea.
We'll talk about Opeyemi Bamidele a
Yes.
little bit later,
Right.
because I also blame you for his ambition. You know that you are the one who deprived him of this senatorial seat.
I didn't deprive him.
According to him.
According to him, okay.
According to
yeah,
him.
maybe
You know.
when you listen to my story,
Yes.
you then know that I didn't deprive him.
Okay, going back to the other candidates
Yes.
now, you all are seeming very happy
Yes,
about
and
the
I know why I'm saying
emergence
so.
of Ayo Fayose.
Yes.
Ayo Fayose said to me that when he drives around Ekiti, they are hailing him, Oshokomole,
Anytime a bad man drives around Ado Ekiti town, people must follow him. We ready to work Oshebilomo. We all want to watch a madman. It's necessary. It's entertainment. We love entertainer. But let me tell you this. You came as a governor to a place. Ado Ekiti has perhaps about 45% of the vote in Ekiti state.
Yes.
You came in there, all of the 3.5 years you spent, you were abusing the KBAC, badgering the head of the KBAC, threatening to depose him, abusing the kings and everybody, attacking one of their prominent sons, Shivabola. At a point, some of us who were elites then, I was not in politics then, I had to mobilize all my friends, professional colleagues and all that,
Yes.
we must remove this guy from this place.
Why? Because of all that?
Okay, now you went to Ijon.
Yes.
Dr. Daramola is one of the finest men who have come out of Ekiti. He was a World Bank consultant. He has a PhD in economic management. You went to Ikere, you went to Inyi College
Have all
of Education.
these things been proven?
They're all against him. These are cases pending in court. You know, the wheel of justice, you know, turns slowly in Nigeria.
And
You know?
if
So we are taught PDP saying that.
Yes.
We probably have said no. No, this can't be.
But maybe PDP sees that he is innocent
No,
until
they
proven
said he's the
guilty.
one. No, they said he's the one who can badger our head, who can roughen us up and then force his way into the
He's
into
a
power.
ruffian.
Roughneck, you know, that kind of thing. You know, I mean, go to Ijon. When they said he was coming to contest in Ijon, the cabinet said when he's coming, he should bring Dr. Ramla with him so that he can come and campaign.
And Dr. Damola is no more.
He's no more. He's dead. In Ayede, ask him what happened to the king of Ayede. He once arrested the king, put him in the boot of his car, drove him to Ado Ekiti and locked him up. Across the state like that, he has committed one infraction or the other. We're talking of Ikogusi.
Yeah.
For the other time, he went there, took all the beds, removed all the air conditioners, and packed them from the place and took them to his own private hotel. Now that is what Fayemi has brought to a world standard. They said he went there 2 days ago and was apologizing that he has changed. He was a younger person then. It was a mistake. Go to Arekiti, ask him to work on the issue of Arekiti and see what is going to happen. Because the Oba himself have fought many times over.
Yes, but
the Oba of Ido Faboro,
yes,
he locked him up in detention for 52 days when he was governor. With all of that,
yeah,
you've affected virtually everybody. And you will tell me that that kind of person will be welcome back as governor. Okay. Even those who are not politicians are calling and saying, we are coming home. Ekiti has gone beyond this. We're no longer going to allow this kind of elements to come and rule us in Ekiti.
To come back.
Yes, yes, I'm telling you. You tell Kabiyesi, and the candidate who has to policy ni rostrum. You know, I mean, you don't talk to elders like that. Yeah. Ekitis are well trained, you know, they are coach, they are, you know, they respect their elders, they respect their traditional institutions and all that. Yes. I cannot see any Ado Idijin who will go to the ballot and say he has confidence enough to go and vote for Oshe in the coming election. Mark my word.
Yes.
Look, I contested against him.
In the Senate?
In the Senate.
Yes. I
defeated him with 45,000 votes. People were calling, okay.
You were 67, he was 22 or 23,000?
Yeah, yes. And, you know, we had an interview, a debate. And, you know, we were talking, I was giving ideas, it was, you know, and then I look at the t-shirt he wore. I said, look at yourself. You want to be senator representing this place, you are governor, look at what you have written. You wrote politics is not a joke or something. Politics is a serious business. Yeah. And the spelling of politics was wrong. I called the attention of everybody at home to his chest. What will I tell my 10-year-old daughter at home when I get back that the man who want to go and represent us in the Senate or who was our governor could wear to a TV station a t-shirt with an inscription with wrong spelling, and he quickly put his hands over his chest and ran away.
We'll take our first break now. When we come back, we'll start off from the point where, from all these things you're saying, I'm now beginning to wonder where he gets the confidence to say
I keep telling people
the people want him back.
It's not confidence. Again, maybe it's the confidence of a trickster that he's serving.
Join us again after the break. Perhaps no one has ever done 2 terms in Ekiti State because they've never performed, and the people have never wanted them back, because they haven't performed.
I don't even think the question has arisen before in Ekiti. Let's look at the record. Only one governor has ever completed a 4-year term in Ekiti. Otumbani Adebayo. So you cannot base an assertion on a conjecture. You must base your assertion on evidence that you can clearly demonstrate as true. Governor Lumilua, the only Ekiti man that we had who was governor in Ondo State, the old Ondo State at the time, did not even have the opportunity to finish the 4-year term. Remember, this was 93. He only spent 2 years in office, less than 2 years, before General Abacha came in November 1993 to take the government by force. And then, under this dispensation, 1999 to 2013, there's been no basis for it. So how can you argue that nobody has ever done something when there's been no basis to put forward such an argument?
60 Minutes with Angela. Again, answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, it's 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajitumobi. On my hot seat today, Senator Babafemi Ojudu, representing Ekiti Central Senatorial District. Now, I'm just wondering where former Governor Ayo Fayose keeps getting that confidence. I mean, I've been reading him since he got that PDP ticket, and his confidence is sky high.
Like I said earlier on, it is the confidence of a trickster. You know, the man is actually not talking to the people; he's talking to his financiers. You know, he needs their money, so he must talk with some kind of confidence so that they can bring the money.
They give the impression.
You know, make some task appearances. Yes. Appear as if you're on the ground, make a lot of loud noise.
Okay, let me tell you what Bola Diomoni just said to me. He said that if Opeyemi Bamidele will come a distant third in this election, in fact, he thinks Fayose will beat him to third place.
Yeah, I believe so.
You believe so too?
It may actually even be before. Yeah.
You think Fayose will be above?
Fayose will come second, but a distant second.
Right.
And all of us will now trail after him.
After him.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? And I'm asking you this question about Mr. Bamidele because, as I said earlier, I blame you for his foray.
I have no animosity towards him.
Right.
He is my brother, and we were collaborators in the past. Again,
did he contest the primaries for this senatorial seat?
He contested the primary for the Senate. Yeah, he did. But you see, he has refused to tell himself the truth. On the morning of the primary of the, in our constituency.
Yes.
I come from Ado with 13 words.
Right.
He comes from Inyekiti with 2 words. On the morning of the primary, they deprive Ado register and voting materials. No single one came to Ado Ekiti with 13 words out of 57. So there was no voting in Ado Ekiti, where I come from. In Efon, from the morning there was violence.
Yes. In
Igero, there was voting. And in other parts of the party, at about 2 p.m., the party announced on radio and TV with a signed statement that primary has been suspended and that they will give another date.
For another primary.
Following morning, he was on the street of Ado Ekiti. He had printed leaflets giving fake figures
to show that he won.
He won. Ask him what was his vote in Ado Ekiti with 13 words. Ado Ekiti, in the whole of Ekiti State, is reputed to have 45% of the votes. Now, Ado Ekiti, in the whole of the Central, what percentage of the vote would that have meant?
Yes.
So, when he said that, so when we were now to do second one, the party now said, even no, we are not even going to any primary again. It's too divisive.
Yes.
It's not going to work. What we are going to do, because again, what happened at that time was that his main supporter was the former governor of the state, Adeni Adebayo.
Yes.
So, it was becoming messy. That one was insisting that no other person but this fellow.
Yes.
And my own supporters at the grassroots, at the elite level, were saying, no, this is the man we want. So the party now said, no. Rather, we know who can win us this election.
Yes.
And they now sent my name to INEC. And the party decided have the right to do that.
Yes.
If they look at the ground and see. So that is what happened.
Yes.
And like I say that, look, all of the time Okwe was there as commissioner, I was busy working in Ekiti. I led the troop, let's say the troop in Court now.
He was a commissioner in Lagos.
In Lagos, there. I led the troop that removed Fayose from government. I've been participating in Ekiti politics on the fringe from as far back as the early 1990s. Going home, mobilizing, getting involved in the community, doing things there and all of that.
Yes.
I formed the group called 11, and I brought all the professional people together. We were, taking charge of things, organizing debates for young people, and doing things over the years. When we saw that this governor was killing our best, we mobilized funds and then said, look, we are going to take him out. And we took him out. Yes. I brought all the lawmakers to Lagos here for almost 3 months, keeping them in the hotel, And beyond that, I was so much involved. In fact, my house was the center of activity for the Fayemi campaign.
In Ekiti
State. So how will then somebody just come in from Lagos and you then think you'll be that kind of person? But again, some people, who are lovers of mammon, they love money, they will go to him, you are the one the world wants. At the point, he boasted that Fayemi cannot work with him on the street of Ekiti. Somebody who's governor cannot work with you on the street of Ekiti. You are going to defeat. I said, look, some people must be deceiving this young man.
Yeah.
And they deceived him. Many of the people deceived him then And the same thing to go into this governorship thing, they've run away now from him.
So he's all alone.
He's alone. As my brother, I'm praying for him. Sometimes when I remember when I think about what has happened to him, I feel like crying.
Do you guys still talk? Do you still communicate?
Unfortunately, we don't. That's the danger about politics.
Yes.
The moment you have this kind of thing, you no longer talk to each other, one another.
Yes.
If I have an opportunity to tell him, I say, look, my brother, why don't you go and reflect?
Did he come to meet you to say, I have this governorship ambition, I'm moving to the Labour Party?
The only time we had an opportunity to talk was
Yes.
when Nwosu, there's one guy, Emeka Nwosu, was the chairman of the Political Rights Association.
Right.
He was launching a book, and we were both there, and we sat down alone on the table, and he told me
that he wants to go for governor.
I said, look, don't do it. That you are still young. Why don't you be patient? What will you tell the world this guy has not done well?
Yes.
What?
Because internationally, an incumbent must have the right to say
no.
no.
No, yes. I said, what will you say this guy has not done well? What will you, it's not good, I said, look, if you ask me to assess the two of you on the ratio of 1 to 10, well, I've given about 7, I'll probably give you 1. I said, no, don't do this, and that was when we stopped talking.
And two allegations stand out for me now. The first time I heard this was from Okweyemi Bamidele that he brought Governor Fayemi.
Even Fayoshe said so.
Yes, and even Fayoshe has said the same thing. In fact, he will send him back.
To where he brought him from?
Yes. Confirm for us, who actually of the two of them brought Fayemi into politics?
It's ridiculous to say that they brought Fayemi. Who can bring Fayemi? I will call your attention to the book written by the wife. Yes. The wife has written...
I have the 2 books.
Speaking Above a Whisper.
Yes.
She has written a book, autobiography.
Yes.
Go and read about this there. How Fayemi got into all of this. Again, Fayemi needs not be brought by anybody. Fayemi and Professor Soyinka, General Akinrade, and all the big lords who went on exile were fighting. They fought so hard for Nigeria. Nobody could have said introduce Fayemi to Bola Ahmed Tinubu for God's sake. No. All of us knew him. Whenever I find my way running away from Nigeria, I go to stay with him in London. He received us, he organized where we are going to go and talk about Nigeria and everything. So to now say that I introduced him to Bola Tinubu, who are you to introduce Fayemi to Bola Tinubu? What was your own role? He left Nigeria as an economic refugee and went to Boston. Yes. He doing a small job, for immigrants to survive. Fayemi was flying all over the world, organizing Radio Kudirat, organizing Nadeco, organizing other organizations, several organizations that were fighting for Nigeria then. Okay,
what about Ayo Fayoshe, who says he brought him into politics?
Ayo Fayoshe, you know what he did? Ayo Fayoshe, when we were going to do rerun, and then they thought that it was some, again, outsiders. And I wonder, Tinubu about this. They said, look, it is you outsiders who see much value in this man. I'm not going to be part of it. They went, invited him, talked to him, and wooed him to support us.
To support Fayemi.
And he supported us, and again, not for free. Not for free. It was like you are buying support.
Yes.
They paid him to support us, and he supported us. And he never left his home on day of election or prior to election. Even what he collected to mobilize people, he never even give to them.
It was not free.
It was not free. It was like an object to be purchased at that time. A tool. It's like you want to use a bus for a campaign and you go and pay for it.
So help us bring your people and let them come and vote.
Whatever support you have in Ekiti, let them join us in this. That's all. That was all. And I'm telling you that there was no value to it. I should know. And I told them there because I have seen the grant. I know that this fellow doesn't amount to much. And I told them, I'm not going to be part of wooing Fayoshe.
Yes.
So, and that was it. So, when now everything went on well, he felt, he has become God that should be worshipped.
Yes.
And nobody was ready to worship him because we saw, it's like, okay, I said, you wanted the bus for a campaign. You bought the bus. And the bus couldn't take you to even where you are going to address the rally. The supporters. So how much value do you put to that kind of bus? So his case is just like that.
What would you say to those who say Governor Fayemi has so borrowed money to do these projects and he's mortgaged the future of generations of Ekiti children yet unborn?
Again, they are saying that for having nothing to say. It is so illiterate. Anywhere in the world, any country, America, one of the richest countries in the world today, borrow money for developmental projects. Fayemi didn't borrow money to go and build a house for himself. or to buy a Rolls Royce or anything.
Yes.
Okay. Roads have to be constructed. Schools have to be reformed. Same for hospitals.
Yes.
We need fund. We are going to be in government for 4 years, but we can't earn all the money at that period.
Yes.
But we need to do these projects. If we have to wait till the last year to do those projects, if the price of constructing a kilometer of road is 25 million naira in the first year, by the fourth year it will have gone into to be something like 40-45 million. Yes. So why don't I take money now to do it when it's going to be cheaper than wait for the last year? And that was what he did. And he borrowed against the income of the state. And the same money has almost been liquidated, the same loan. And we can see on the street a lot to show for it.
What about the allegation that it seems like he has an egg nest in Ghana? You know, people keep saying to me on Facebook, he will be sent back to Ghana where he belongs. He owns a university in Ghana.
You know what you do, what you say in politics? It is like the noise that emanates from the market. You also don't listen to that kind of thing.
Yes.
In politics, anybody wakes up and say, look, right now, myself and 2 other senators, we put resources together and we are building, you know, a museum, a gallery of art, an event center, you know, by a lake in Ado-Ekiti.
Yes.
My wife just told me this morning that they are saying I'm building a hotel. You know, so do you now say because of that you won't continue to do what you are doing?
Yes.
This is a public thing being built by the Ministry of Tourism.
Maybe they see you there at the site.
Oh, I have to go there. I've not even been there, unfortunately, but I still have to go there. You know, but that is the thing, ignorance.
Yes.
You know, a leader is a leader, for God's sake. Look, when Awolowo started the issue of free education, people were abusing him all over the place. Oh, he has taken all our children from the farm. He didn't want them to work for us again. He this and that kind. He has taken our children from us. They were abusing him. At a point, he had to put an inscription in front of his house, $1. That is, abuses return to wealth. Today, what do we have left in Yoruba land? That education. That's what has taken us to where we are. That's why we are not killing ourselves. The safest part of the country today is southwest of Nigeria. Yes. That was the man they were abusing in the 50s. So similarly, you know, the few elements who are not appreciated by me now, in years to come, they will know that he has put a solid foundation in place. And you know, as I keep telling people, now the infrastructure is very good. Anywhere you drive to Ekiti, you know you are on a very solid road. Yes. Now the next thing is development, industrial development. Yes. J.F. Kennedy said something which I like to, you know, comment to those who are saying Fayemi is just about road and all that. He said, America does not have road because it is wealthy. America is wealthy because it has good roads. That's JFK said that.
So without good roads?
Without good roads, nobody will come. I won't bring my industry to your place if the roads are not okay. I won't come visit if the roads are not okay. I won't allow my children to come to school in your place without the road being okay. Yes. You know, I will even come and marry in that place if I know it's going to take me in a lot of trouble coming to look for my bride in your place. Yes. But when the road is okay, there is security, the streets are clean, you know, everybody loves to come back there. So for me, Fayemi has done quite so well. You need to go there and see. Go to the schools. I went to the school established in 1960. Between that 1960 and last year, that school never saw another shade of paint. You go to some of the classrooms, the portals you see in the classroom. Inside the classroom. Yes. Some of the rooms have been blown up, no window panes anywhere. Go and see what that place is today. And that is not just one place. Across the state, go and hear the Obas talk about him. Oh, you have done the schools. The health center here has been renovated by you. Even the palace is looking better. Everything is good. You know, our water thing has been improved and all that. You know, these are the kind of things you do. Yes. So suppose Fayemi just keep the money somewhere in the bank and people are suffering. Yes. Or share the money on the street as some wanted him to do. Let us share this money, go on the road and throw money at people.
Stomach infrastructure.
It's what they call stomach infrastructure. We don't believe in that. We are too educated. And I'm saying this, Fayemi could be president of any Western country. In terms of education, knowledge, exposure, capacity, compassion, is capable of being president, prime minister in Britain, president in America, in Norway, in France, anywhere. The wife equally is also capable of being president anywhere. So why would you not be proud of that? Why do I have to follow an illiterate that will embarrass me every time he opens his mouth to talk? Somebody came on television and said, how did you escape from from the government house when you were in, say, oh, you know, I'm very long. I had to, you know, cover up myself inside the boot of a car. You know, I'm very long. The day he said that on TV, my daughter said, Daddy, come and hear your former governor. You know, I'm very long. Instead of saying I'm very tall. So these are the kind of things that will never happen again. Never, never again.
Join us again after the break.
Who knows Abi better thing? Abi who no like better thing? All these fine things where they see so. Now money government they take do now. Abi, I saying it's like, you know, I mean, excuse me, I dey pay my tax. I dey do it, I dey pay my tax. Say you don't pay your own tax. Have you pay your tax?
Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.
Perhaps no one has ever done 2 terms in Ekiti State because they've never performed, and the people have never wanted them back, you know, because they haven't performed.
I don't even think the question has arisen before in Ekiti. Let's look at the record. Only one governor has ever completed a 4-year term in Ekiti. Otumbani Adebayo. So you cannot base an assertion on a conjecture. You must base your assertion on evidence that you can clearly demonstrate as true. Governor Lumilua, the only Ekiti man that we had who was governor in Ondo State, the old Ondo State at the time, did not even have the opportunity to finish the 4-year term. Remember, this was 93. He only spent 2 years in office, less than 2 years, before General Abacha came in November 1993 to take the government by force. And then under this dispensation, 1999 to 2013, there's been no basis for it. So how can you argue that nobody has ever done something when there's been no basis to put forward such an argument?
60 Minutes with Angela. Again, answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
Welcome back. My concluding moments now with Senator Babafemi Ojudu, who represents Ekiti Central Senatorial District in Nigeria's Senate. Now, Senator, let me read to you something that former Senator Ayo Arise said. He says, the roads in Ekiti have gone from bad to terrible. Governor Fayemi promised to construct roads from Ado to Ifaki. And he deceived the people of Ekiti. He said he would make every town a local government. He brought discord between Oye and Ikole people over the university. Most of the things he is boasting to have done in Ado were started by former Governor Segun Oni. He has not done much sufficiently for the state. I believe he has performed below expectations. End of quote. How do you react to these allegations?
I'm not sure Arishe is talking about the Ekiti that I know. He probably has another Ekiti in his own imagination that he's talking about. The Ekiti they raped for many years is the Ekiti that he's talking about now, not this Ekiti that we live in. And I'm saying this because, you know, it is verifiable. We are not talking of something abstract.
Abstract. These are visible.
These are, let us put this in a sheet of paper and give to 5 different people to go on differently to Ekiti and go and verify themselves and say this is what somebody said and put a lie to what he has said. You know, we should challenge him.
Are people happy with the university?
He was senator for 4 years.
Yes.
Let him tell us. We know what we have done, 3 of us senators from BPC, in terms of bringing together all our, what they call it, constituency, not constituency allowance. Now, there's not like constituency allowance against ignorance. There is constituency fund.
Yes.
Each senator every year nominates a project in his constituency.
Yes.
And then domicile it in a relevant ministry.
Right.
If it is water, water resources, we go and do it. If it's agric, the 3 of us came together and bunched it and said we're going to do something big and huge.
So that it will really
People
benefit.
Will see it. Let him tell us, we have done something in Itapaji, you know, irrigating land for people to farm on.
Yes.
You know, we are doing something at Ureji Dam this year. Next year we are going, for this year, next year we are going to Ekiti South to go and do something huge. when they were there, let them, what was that fund used for? I have an idea of what they do with those funds, but you know, I won't say it here. Yes. But I challenge you to come and tell us. Let him come and engage me in a debate. Even the MDG project that we do, that we used to provide civic centers, borehole, street lights and all that. Let them come and tell us where they put their own. I know what they did with it. And I'm ready to challenge you to a debate.
Someone said to me that this election in Ekiti is very critical because the Southwest is critical to permutations of the PDP as far as the president's alleged ambition in 2015 is. It is the inroad to the PDP capturing the Southwest.
Well, let me say this and also use the opportunity to advise the presidency and the president that they will do well for this country. Not to force people that are not wanted on the level of the Southwest. If
that's the first step to capturing the Southwest.
Well, no, not to force people on us. Then that educated people can never be captured. You can never capture people who are civilized, who are knowledgeable. No, you can't keep them down. They will always come up. You know, Jonathan is where he is today because 2011 he didn't attempt to rig election in the Southwest. All of the shenanigans that went on in the southeast, where people were recording 90% voting, 100% in some cases, where Bayelsa even went, the figure recorded by Bayelsa even went above the population of Bayelsa. It will not happen here. People will not accept it. Let them go back to history and see what happened in the early 60s when elections were rigged, what happened in 1993 when elections were rigged in the Southwest. Then they will know that they better leave Southwest alone. And you see, let them still leave it as an enclave where there is peace, where they can come and hide their wealth, hide their wives and children. But if they try to rig the election in the Southwest in this coming one, then that itself may be the end of Nigeria. Take it from me. So they better allow things to go. If a governor, no matter which party the governor comes from, becomes unpopular and refuse to serve the people, the Southwest people with themselves go to the poll and vote him out. I've seen that happen over and over again without anybody's prompting. You know, but if they now say this man is good for us, as happened during the time of Ajashi, you know, and he says, okay, let us tamper with it and put somebody else there. You will not need to enjoy it.
Now, let's talk about national issues because you're from the Senate. Correct me if I'm wrong. To the outsiders, the Senate always looks like it's very united and that political parties don't matter so much within the Senate as opposed to in the House of Representatives. Do you agree with that statement?
This is, let me say that up to a point, yes, you are right. Some of us too were wondering, why are we not showing enough opposition to the happenings here? But for me, in the last 3 months, things have changed.
How have things changed?
Because we now vigorously oppose some of the measures brought on the floor by the PDP people.
When you say vigorously oppose, are you opposing them vigorously because...
No, because we believe they are not right. Look at the budget, for example. The last budget, when it came to the House, the kind of opposition, the kind of, you know, before we even debated it, we called the consultant to look at it and examine it and then address us on it. All of the loopholes, all of the wrong things, all of the waste contained therein was analyzed for us. You know, this is what it should not be. This is what it should be. They told us. And one after the other, we got up and gave our opinion. It used not to happen before. Maybe we rose up too late to see that we were opposition. You know, today, although we are still few, you know, and in between, and we do have our say, although we don't have our way. That's it.
And you know, in saying that, why is it important? I'm trying to frame this question properly. Why is it important for the Senate especially to seem to be on the executive side in things?
Because again, they have the majority. The leadership is controlled by the majority. So
whether or not the policies
whether it is right or wrong, you know, they have to support their party. But I don't think that is the way it should be.
I mean, I would have thought that
come first and not the party.
Once elections are won, political parties
the country should come first and not the party. But unfortunately so, you know, at that place, it is the party that is taken first.
Yes.
You know? So it's like, okay, even when they think something is wrong, some of them will say it's better for us to go and talk to him personally.
Yes.
Rather than wash our dirty linen in public. You know, and but when the linen is becoming too dirty and it's going to affect everybody, the ooze and the germs coming from it is going to kill everybody. Why don't you wash it and let it dry in the public? You know, so but that is the situation. You know, normally, honestly, no matter which party you come from, if there are policies that's going to affect the nation negatively, you know, the leadership and the majority should come together and say, let us not allow this to pass. But that is not the same, you know, with us.
On a final note now, the news making the rounds that the APC has decided on a Muslim ticket.
I don't know anything about
the presidency.
I don't know anything about that. And you see, the candidates of a party is not decided until you get to the national convention of the party.
Right.
You know, it is still the same people who are flying kites, and it's just a kite.
Has the APC decided?
Not at all. I should know.
Has the game opened?
No. If someone like me do not know,
yes,
who else will know? I'm a senator, for God's sake. Yes. Beyond that, I'm a journalist. I can sniff out information. You know, I'm close to Ashiwaju. I know Buhari so well.
Yes.
I like Lai Mohammed. We were in the same hotel for like 4 days in America, where we went to talk to Americans.
Yes.
So I'm close to everybody. I could. Back on days, like a father to me, I can call him up and say, look, and I've spoken to all of these people. They said, don't mind them, Femi.
There's nothing like that.
There's nothing like that. We've not decided on anything, for God's sake.
Okay.
They have not even called for nomination. Because we call for nomination, they will obtain forms, you know, we will go to our Congress. We don't even have delegates or anything yet.
Yes.
You know, so it is these same people using their ill-gotten money to bribe people to write all kinds of funny things. And anybody who is sitting upon that rumor,
yes, to
say he's leaving the party must have had intention to leave before and is looking for an opportune time and reason to leave.
Yes.
So
now, on a lighter note,
yes,
I was reading about you when I Googled you.
Yes.
The 25,000 naira that
yes,
Gani Fawemi gave you all to start the news magazine.
Yes, at that time, yes.
Did you ever refund that? Did you ever refund
We had a little problem. You know, I mean, Gani Fawemi, a great man.
Great man.
And I benefited so much from him. I learned a lot. But beyond benefiting so much from him, yes, when I was not an adult, in 1977,
yes,
I was in my last year in secondary school. He advertised this scholarship program.
Yes.
And then I applied and I won.
Yes.
And I got 100 naira to pay my final year school fees. So
naira.
Ever since 100 naira then, I've been very close to him. Yes. When he was arrested and taken to Gashua, I traveled to Gashua with the wife, yes, to go and search for him, yes, in Gashua. You know, Gashua is at the extreme end, yes, of Borno State. I was close to him. I was the secretary of Gani Fawemi Solidarity Association, yes, when they said his house should be sold. And so when we now started the news, one of the people we went to assist us was Gani, and he gave us 25,000 naira as his own contribution or investment. Yes. So when he started fighting Tinubu, yes, in Lagos, and we didn't join him
in the fight.
He then wrote to me and said, refund my money. you know, Gani, she finally give everything to what we shall fight. And I issued a check and I sent it back to him, but he never withdrew the money.
He never cashed the
but
check.
He's a great man that I will forever respect. He's an I can't even afford to talk about him in past tense. Yes. You know, he made a lot of impact in my life. You know, my fearlessness, my, you know, courage and everything that I do, I always ask myself, what would Chief Fawemi have done in this situation? Yeah. Some I do, some I also think that it takes someone like him to even do that kind of thing. But he was great. He was always ready to help people. He was ready to look. When I resigned from Concord in 1992, yes, when Abiola said we should go and apologize to Babangida for writing a story, and I resigned, yes, and I went to him that I was going to sue the federal government. Yes. He just asked me, Femi, I hope you are not going to chicken out. I said, chicken out? Do I look like somebody who can chicken out? Please go to court on my behalf. And immediately the following day we were in court, challenging Babangida's closure of Concord. And Abiola called and said, look, why should you go to court? I said, I didn't go to court on your name. I went to court on my own name, and, you know, and as a practicing journalist, I have the right to inform and be informed. Yes. And this right has been breached. Yes. For as long as I do not I didn't go to court because of on your name. You can't stop me from going to court.
Yes.
And that was it.
Thank you very much, Senator Ojudu, for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure. Nice being on with
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this week. Don't forget to like 60 Minutes with Angela on Facebook. Alternatively, you can follow me on Twitter, Angela at 60 Minutes. I'm Angela Ajitumobi. I thank you for the pleasure of your company.